This week, we're back in our Ford Transit camper van and making our way to Peace, Love, and Vans to experience one of the largest community-focused van gatherings east of the Mississippi. It was a 900-mile drive from Indiana to Florida, and we weren't the only ones making the trek. There were large groups of motorcyclists chasing their own adventures. Kate and I decided to head down a couple days early to catch up with some van friends for a little pre-event gathering. Because honestly, one of the most incredible parts of van life are the people you meet. There are those spontaneous connections that last for a moment, and then there are those that turn into friendships that last for a lifetime. After settling into our spot for the next few nights, we joined the rest of the group in their pups. As much as we miss traveling with our own dogs at times, we can always count on a few friendly ones to love up on and play with whenever we're camped in a group. Even though we rolled in with a fridge full of food, it was hard to resist the delicious meals cooked up by our awesome host, Ranger Chuck. As the temperature dipped below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, we gathered around the fire, admiring Chuck's impressive DIY portable fire pit. After 2 days on the road, Kate and I were more than ready to kick back, relax, and catch up with everyone. The next morning, everyone pitched in to whip up an amazing breakfast spread: bacon, sweet potato hash, and freshly baked cinnamon rolls. While some folks were busy working and others set off to explore the nearby springs, we chose to take it slow and soak in the peacefulness of the property. There's something special about those quiet days, just unwinding, reconnecting, and letting time pass at its own pace. The pups seemed to feel it too, happily lounging and roaming around. That evening, we all gathered around a bigger fire, the kind that draws everyone in. As the flame danced and the wood crackled, folks started mapping out the plan for tomorrow's caravan to Peace, Love, and Vans. Most of the crew left at 7 this morning so they could line up and get in when gates opened. Chuck and ourselves, we figured we'll get in this afternoon, relax this morning, have a nice breakfast, so we're about to take off and caravan down to the event. Ranger Chuck took the lead to drive to the event, about 2 hours away. The organizers weren't kidding when they said this was one of the largest van life meetups in the Southeast. It felt like an endless stream of vans rolling into the park, all making their way from different corners of the country. Josh, one of the Peace, Love, and Vans organizers, was on site directing everyone to their designated camping areas. And for RVers needing hookups, there was a dedicated section with electric and water hookups. They really had something for everyone, including day passes for those just wanting to come and hang out for the day. We pulled into the Storyteller Overland area, which already had a few campers set up and settling in. Event staff and volunteers were out there working hard, directing traffic, parking campers, and making sure everyone found their spot. Since we'd be parked for 3 nights, we set up our portable solar panels to keep the lithium batteries charged. With so many people and their pups around, we put the panels on the rooftop deck to keep them out of the way and from being trampled. Van friends, both new and old, were already stopping by to say hi before I even had the panels plugged in. It's always great to see familiar faces and meet new ones at these gatherings. While I was getting things set up, Kate took a moment to check out our welcome packet and all the information inside. This is quite the event. I don't think I've ever seen this many vans in one place. There are hundreds of them here and more coming. This is the list of all the activities. Today it's a little slim, it's just the arrival day, but starting at 4 p.m. they're gonna start having live music on the stage and other things. But we're gonna spend the afternoon walking around, getting a lay of the land, and seeing who all we know here, because there's quite a contingent of van lifers. So it's time to get going. And I did make a cup of coffee for the walk.
I am taking an ice cream for the walk. It is warm down here. the perfect van size. Oop.
It didn't take long to spot the group of van friends we'd been camping with for the last 2 nights. They had all gotten up early to meet outside the venue and drive in together during load-in. This little pup has been named Vanna. She is a lost pup. They're looking for her owner, but if they can't find her, or him, Vanna is getting adopted. Not by us, by our friend.
Free candy.
I'm taking her home.
And what I say earlier, plenty of dogs to love up on around here. This is the Leafy Lounge behind me. There are quiet hours at 9 p.m., so if you don't want to party, you can still get some sleep. The Leafy Lounge, however, is going till midnight tonight. There's going to be a band, tiki bar, and a lot of fun. May have to stop by and see what the action is. On our way back to the camper, we saw some cool builds on the Ford Transit platform. Then we helped our new neighbors adjust their camper awning. Well, helped might be a bit of a stretch. It was more like walking him through the steps and watching him do all the work. Well, in the midst of all our socializing, we got hungry. So it's time to make some dinner, relax, and get ready for some music and fun this evening. And what do we have on tap? Kaneka. Tonight's dinner was a stir-fry made with our favorite Alabama sausage and a generous serving of fried eggs and rice. It's one of our go-to camping meals, quick, easy, and satisfying, especially when you have pre-cooked rice in the fridge. After dinner, we wandered over to the main stage to enjoy some live music and take a stroll with our friends. As expected, that stroll eventually led us to the Leafy Lounge, which was all set up for evening s'mores. There's just something about gathering around a fire, roasting marshmallows, and sharing stories that brings everyone closer. Kate found her way to the tiki bar, which was serving up a selection of cocktails, beers, and wines. After seeing the display, you can probably guess which option Kate went for using one of the free drink tickets from our welcome packet. Yep, that's a manatee wearing snorkeling gear on the label. And from that moment on, Kate insisted on calling it manatee water for the rest of the weekend. A large crowd gathered for the evening band, and we could still enjoy the music while roaming around the nearby camping areas. Before calling it a night, we stumbled across a table of beautifully decorated lemon cookies surrounded by the beginnings of a growing bourbon bar. Since the astronomy club members were set up near our camper, we couldn't pass up the opportunity to join them for a viewing of the moon through a high-powered telescope. It was such a cool experience to end the night. The Sunshine State was definitely living up to its name the next morning. As more campers rolled in, the utopian van village envisioned by the organizers was really starting to come together. This community-focused gathering was hosted at the beautiful Withlacoochee River Park, spread out over grassy fields dotted with towering oak trees. It was an ideal spot for something like this. Plenty of space, shade, and a laid-back natural vibe.
First full day at Peace Love Vans. Saturday, beautiful, sun is shining in Florida. There's yoga happening, and there's also breakfast happening. We just got the breakfast text, so onwards.
This pitch-in breakfast spread was one for the record books, thanks to Nestor. His creme brulee French toast was absolutely next level. Nestor even showed us his baking setup outside his camper, with a second tray of that delicious French toast ready to be served. We are always blown away by the incredible food people manage to make at camp. If you ever get a chance to camp with Nestor and Mary, you are in for a real treat. With our bellies full, we made our way back to the camper to hang out for a while and chat with folks who were roaming around the village. Around noon, Kate and I headed over to the swinging stage to catch some live music and check out the scene. Food trucks, vendor booths, and rows upon rows of campers of all shapes and sizes, not just vans, scattered around the perimeter. Our first stop was the Live Wildly booth, set up right next to the giant blow-up animal you definitely could not miss. We learned about their mission to connect people to wild Florida, and of course, Kate grabbed a free sticker to add to our growing collection. A fun reminder of the quirky, laid-back vibe of the weekend. Josh gave us a quick tour of his personal van build on the Ram ProMaster chassis, and he's definitely made the most of this space. There's a hidden storage area in the galley, big enough to stash a pressure cooker and a blender. But the real surprise, right below that spot, was a hidden shower setup, complete with a hanging curtain held up by magnetic hooks. Gotta love the creativity that goes into these builds. Before we knew it, it was time for one of the 4 workshops taking place at the Talking Tree. This one was led by Neil and Britt, all about van life finances. Since this gathering is more community focused, we appreciated that there weren't as many vendors as other events we've been to. There was a good variety of exhibitors, from massages to van accessories, and even fully built campers for sale. Eddie from Slinky Stove gave us a demo of his lightweight collapsible stove, complete with a cover to protect it from the elements and a grill for cooking over the fire. When we got back to camp, Ranger Chuck surprised us with an order of pork ribs from the barbecue vendor on site. Meaty goodness? Yes, please.
The raffle is going on. We haven't put tickets in yet because there's raffle every day, and I didn't get a chance to get my raffle ticket in for today, so I'm going to check out the raffle tomorrow. But tonight is potluck night. Go see what tasty bites everyone has to share.
Guess what we brought for the potluck? If you guessed sausage fried rice, then you'd be correct. As expected, the potluck table kept growing with an incredible variety of dishes, and more just kept rolling in. Our buddy Paul Pritz even brought stick-on mustaches to share with the group, in all different shapes and sizes. Of course, Kate had to try one on, but her stash kept getting in the way of eating, so she went for a different look. As you can imagine, the reactions were priceless. Yes. So if you don't know these two, it's too late. It is the end of an era. Paul here has been leading many of the charge in the Storyteller van life group. Even though you sold your Storyteller, you're still in a van for a little bit.
For a little bit, yes.
We don't know what's next for him. But out of all the people here, Paul has been one of the most influential in getting people out there, getting us to do things we probably shouldn't. We all wanted to give this to you as a big thank you. Going well. We'll see what the next adventure brings. Yep.
Thank you. Later. Thank you, guys. Honestly, I'm really caught off guard. I'm kind of at a loss for words, which those of you that know me, that's hard to say. It doesn't happen often. I'm very touched. Thank you guys for that. And we are, of course, you are all family, regardless of what we're driving. And yes, I'm still going to push everybody to get out there in our newer rig that we will end up with at some point in the near future. We're just still trying to figure out exactly what that is. But thank you guys for this. Thank you.
It was one of those magical days. The kind of day where people are sharing stories, laughter, and amazing food. You can feel the sense of community everywhere. Strangers turning into friends, friends feeling like family. It's moments like these that really capture the spirit of van life. It's not just about the campers or the travel. It's about the people coming together, creating something special, and celebrating the joy of being with each other. The village lawn was filled with music lovers as the Moonstone Riders shared their psychedelic funk from the swinging stage. Their music had attendees grooving, and Kate even managed to get a little dancing in before we called it a night. After a long, fun-filled day, nothing beats taking a hot shower back at the camper. Good morning. Today is day 3 of the event, and one of the nice things about this event is since today is the last day, they're actually letting people camp into tomorrow and then leave tomorrow and not have to leave after everything is done. But that being said, Kate and I are doing a presentation today on boondocking on public land. Now, that is an hour-long session, so it's not going to make it into this video. But if you are interested in learning how to boondock or dispersed camping tips, head over to our website, we'retherussos.com, type that in the little search bar, and you can read all about it. I need to get my coffee. I haven't had it yet, so I need some caffeine in my system. Oh, and while I'm not a flavored coffee fan, our friend Chuck gave Kate these, these flavored coffees. This one is a peppermint pinwheel, and she's been making herself coffees in the morning, so I'm not the only one having coffee anymore.
I do like to treat myself to a cafe au lait every once in a while. It's time.
So does anyone here not know what boondocking is? Don't be shy. Put your hands up. No? We're good? Okay. But I'll do it for the crowd at home. Boondocking is what we're doing out here. It's essentially dry camping. It's camping with no hookups, no services, nothing like that. And today we're going to be focusing specifically on public land, which is also known as dispersed camping. So public land is anything federal or state publicly owned land, and there are certain places in the country that you can camp on for free.
Thank you to everyone who turned out for our workshop.
Now it's time to walk around and see what we find. Plus there is another raffle today, and I'm going to put some tickets in.
This Nuvo Van's camper build caught our eyes. Built on the Ram ProMaster's super high roof, this layout offers an interior height of 7 feet, making the interior feel spacious with room for a lift bed that doesn't require having to convert the lounge into a bed each night.
Those things are really cool, and I'm glad to see someone finally building on that ProMaster extended top. That's pretty cool.
And in case you were wondering, there were plenty of portable toilets and hand washing stations scattered throughout the village, conveniently placed near the different camping areas. Throughout the weekend, several campers were on display for the DIY contest, including our friend Paul's Econoline build, Free Candy. Our welcome packet included tickets to vote for our favorite DIY build, and Paul gave us a sneak peek at his ticket box, which already had over 30 votes. He might not have won Best in Show, but taking home the Best in Row honor was still pretty awesome. After celebrating, we all headed over to the Sunday raffle where free t-shirts were flying to just about anyone who rushed the stage. We may have missed out on the spare tire carrier for our transit van, but we were excited for our neighbors who snagged the prize. Dinner that night was a classic van life feast. Everyone making what they brought, and if you had enough to share, even better. That's the beauty of these gatherings. Just good food, good people, and good vibes. We served up open-faced cheeseburgers, followed by strawberry ice cream. Then, we kicked back around the fire, soaking in our last night in this magical temporary village.
Well, this is the final morning at Peace Loving Vans, and since the weather was so nice this weekend, Florida had to give us a nice send-off, but Kate and I had an amazing time, and hopefully we'll be back next year because it was a lot of fun. Now, if you want to know the events and the other things that we're going to this year, head on over to our website, we'retherussos.com, and sign up for the newsletter. We send out weekly updates almost about places we're going to be, things we're doing, articles, videos, and all of those things. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Bye.